Hey everyone, it's Miss Feaster, and I am excited to guide you through your AMP2 lecture course online this semester. So in this video, I wanted to try to, as quickly as I can, show you how I've got your course set up. What you see right now is our home page. If you ever want to get back to it, just click on home. If you're using the app on your phone, there's a place where you can click to go to your home screen and you'll see this. Here I've got links through these various buttons that are pretty self-explanatory, so you can go through those. Of course, that's how you've gotten to this video, and this is very important for you to watch, so I'm glad you're doing that. Next, I want to show you in the course navigation, which is what this is, I want to show you the syllabus link. And here I've got my contact information. If you need to get in touch with me, sometimes the best way is simply through the Canvas inbox. And you can contact me that way. I check my emails. That inbox goes to my email. I check it very, very frequently, and I'm pretty good about getting back to those. If I know sometimes students just need to talk about something, they need to know something immediately, you certainly are free to call me. I'm not a night owl. Please don't call after 9 o'clock at night. But um, I will, if you get a voice message, just send me a voicemail and I will get back with you as soon as possible. My office phone and my home phone are the same because I retired from my full-time teaching after many, many years at Hines, but I still love A&P and I still want to teach it online. So my home is my office, and sometimes I'm traveling. My husband and I like to camp a lot, and we're traveling, but we're almost always are at a place where I do have Wi-Fi or internet service, and I can get back in touch with you, and you are a big priority of mine. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you need to. All right, I've got two links on this syllabus in the syllabus section. The first is your physical course syllabus. Make sure you open this and read all the policies and procedures, paying very close attention to attendance, paying very close attention to your grading policy and how I count your grades. You're going to see in the syllabus, as you can see over here on the right, that a bulk of your grade comes from your proctored test. There are 3 tests that will count as proctored tests. um, I know e-learning says you will only have one proctored test, but you don't know which of these 3 is the true proctored test. So you've got to treat it as each of these as a proctored test. And but anyway, 55% of your grade will come from that. Um, your non-proctored test means that you can take those at home without the honor lock proctoring system, and that will count as 30% of your grade. And then 15% will be based on some assignments that will be due each week, and those assignments always relate to the information in the chapters that you'll study each week. And you can go in and out of those assignments all week long as you get them in on the due date. And okay, now also what you see here is a course schedule. I want to open this up. I think it's very important for all students to probably even print this out so you have it in front of you. This course schedule actually shows you week by week which chapters in your textbook, which is an ebook. It's loaded in Canvas in Bookshelf. All right, and so you all have access to that on day 1. But this schedule here shows you what we'll be covering each week, and what when the weekly assignments will be due. Most all of these assignments, as well as tests, will be due on Sundays at 11:59 p.m., so right before midnight. And the weekly assignments, not the test, but the weekly assignments, you can go in and out of all week. But if you hit the submit button, you won't be able to get into them again, and your grade will stand. So I've got instructions later in the course. You'll see that. So just follow those instructions. The very last week, it won't be due on Sunday because the weekend's on Friday. So on this last week, it will actually be due on Thursday. That'll give me a day to get all the grades in. Um, Now, if you are in my 8-week course, you'll see this schedule doesn't follow your dates. I'm doing this video while I'm setting up for my full semester A&P class. But for those of you who are in the 8-week classes, the design will be the same way, and so you'll have a schedule here. All right, I want to go back to this syllabus link where this document was located because I want to show you something else. It's important for you to see it. It is not important for you to access it, and it's called the course summary. The course summary, a lot of students, I know from a history of doing this for many, many years, a lot of students rely on this course summary to get things in. So they know, oh, everything's going to be on Sunday. So they go down here and look on at Sunday night at 6 p.m. They may go in and say, oh, I got to do that quiz. I got to do that survey. On January 31st, they say, oh, here's 3 things I've got to do. You won't have time to get them done. You need to work on these things all week long. And so there is a better way to access what's due each week. Please don't be one of those students who accesses it through this summary, because the summary is simply telling you what's due when. It doesn't tell you what you need to be doing to prepare yourself so that you can answer these things much more easily. All right, and so the place where you do need to access your links is going to be in modules. So that's the next area I want to go to. This is what you're going to be working with all throughout the semester, hopefully on a daily basis. All right, there's several modules. Canvas is set up in modules. These first couple of modules are put out um, by Hines. This Healthy at Hines, that's about COVID and how Hines is taking precautions for that. All right, and then the next one is an introduction module from our e-learning department, and then some other introductory material I've put in there. It's important that you read through all of this today, and then this also tells you how to access your ebook, so make sure you read that. It tells you about our proctor testing. It's going to be through an honor lock system. You can take them at your home computer, but you'll be taking them with this honor lock system, and so this tells you all about that. There's a little practice quiz in here that you don't get points for a grade on this, but this will help you figure out if you've got what you need on your computer in order to take a proctor test at home. If you don't want to take your proctor tests at home, you can take them at Hines, at a Hines proctoring site. You'll have to schedule that ahead of time through this link that you see here in the course navigation called Smarter Proctoring. All right, so once you've gone through these first couple of modules, and the introduction module, by the way, has a survey attached. It's important that you take this survey. You can answer it as many times as you want. You can submit it on and on all week long, as long as you get it done by that due date. But this is our way of knowing that you're serious about the course and you are ready to go. If you don't take this, you will be dropped from the class after the first week. All right, the answers to the questions can be gained from all this other information in this module. All right, so let's say you've done that. Hopefully you'll get through all of that today so that then you can start working on A&P. And you'll see that I have each of your A&P weeks set up as a separate module. So I'll just scroll through a few of these here. But all these modules are set up the same way. So if we go to the first one, they all have objectives attached to them. It's just an overview of what you'll be covering. Don't worry so much about that. That's something I have to put in there as your instructor. But this is what we'll be covering basically. But this agenda, this is critical, y'all. It's very, 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 very important that you read this agenda at the beginning of each week. This agenda is going to tell you what to do. It's going to tell you where in your chapter to go. And I have links for the study resources. Now, this link, it says chapter 12. This is not your ebook. You use your ebook along with what I've put in this link. All right, and then I'll show you that in just a moment. You also see everything that is due for the week is under these graded assessments. And so this is a best way for you to access what is due each week. But you can see it in the weekly module. All right, I want to go into one of these chapter links every week we'll be studying through the chapters in your book. And if you look at the links, you can see I've got a lot for you here. These notes, these are PowerPoint notes. So if you want to print those out, I would urge you to. You know, I'm old school. I like things on a piece of paper. But if you want to print them out, do know they're PowerPoint and know that you can easily print more than one slide per page to save you paper and ink. Then below that, I also have for every one of your chapters, I have some video recordings, and these were recordings that I made in a classroom. This was before I retired, but it's the same notes. Um, I made this in a classroom on a smartboard, and so it's like you're in the class with me. If I drew on the smartboard, the recording picks it up. It picks up my voice. So what I would suggest that you do is print out your notes, and then while your notes are in front of you, watch these videos. So this video, these were done during, Tuesday, Thursday classes. Some of them may be almost an hour and a half in length, but you have a pause button if you need to take a break, and then you can go back to it. But while you're watching these, take notes on those printed PowerPoint notes. Once you have done that, then go back and study those slides in your PowerPoint notes just as if you had left the class on campus. You don't just go to class and then take a test, do you? No, 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 no. You go home and you study what was presented to you in that class. So that's why I've got the notes. That's why I've got these recordings. So once you've studied after viewing the recordings, you've gone back over your notes again and again and again, and you feel like you know it well, then I have got a couple of other links for you. You will not be graded on these, but this first one is a study guide. You could print this out, and after you've studied your notes, see if you can answer the questions in this study guide without looking at your notes, without looking up answers in your book. If you can do that, you have got a great handle on this material, and you'd probably do really well on the test. But the point is to be able to do it without looking at your materials. So that means first print out your notes, view the recordings, then spend hours and hours studying those recordings. Just think, if it takes me an hour to explain it on a recording, and I've been doing this for close to 35 years now, don't you think it's going to take you a little bit longer than an hour in order to learn it well enough to answer questions on a test? So I know I'm dwelling on this, folks, but I know from the past that the students who fail, usually it's because they don't put in the time. And it's not busy work time, answering questions and all. It is digging in and learning the material in your notes. So I give you good tips with that in the weekly agenda. So just make sure you pay attention to that. Once you've done that, or while you're doing your study guide, there's also a link that goes to your book company's website, where it's basically an intuitive, adaptive, interactive flashcard system. Now, I don't have any control over the questions there, but they do come from the information in your book. Your notes come from the information in your book, as just does a study guide, and then my explanations come from all of that. So a lot of students find these practice learn smarts being very, very helpful. And so I wouldn't do it first. I would do it as a last step in your study. And if you can run through those questions real fast, then you're going to have a good handle on the material that will be on the test. All right, so I want to go back to modules and scroll down. So let's pretend you've just studied everything from chapter 12 that I directed you to in the week 1 agenda. Now it's time for you to take your week 1 quiz. These quiz questions will cover material in the notes for that week. And you can open the quiz early in the week and answer all the questions. If you want to submit it for a grade at that point, you certainly can, or you can just back out of it and not submit it at that sitting. Um, Once you submit it, then it's a done deal. You will not be able to open this up again. I explain all of that in the weekly agenda, so just make sure you read the agenda. The key to this course to know what to do is the weekly agenda, and you will see that throughout every one of these modules. You'll see an agenda, and you can see here we're still in Chapter 12 in Week 2. But you got a Week 2 quiz based on new information from Chapter 12 and some other activities, and I'll walk you through that in the agenda as we go. Here and there, you're going to have some bonus opportunities in the form of discussion. So again, that will be explained in the weekly agenda. So most important to know what's going on is that weekly agenda. All right, and so I want to go back over to the course navigation. The grades, this is pretty self-explanatory, but that's where you'll see what your grades are, and it'll have a running average for you. If you want to know how future grades, how you do on future tests will affect your grade, how that will affect it, there's pretend grades you can put in, and it will show you, like on the first test, how that may affect your average. All right, bookshelf is where your ebook is. Net Tutor, that is a free, it's offered to you from Hines, but it's a free tutoring service for you if you'd like to have that. People, that's the other classmates, and if you want to see who's in your class, and then Honor Lock. All this is self-explanatory, and I'll be referring to that if you want to go back to the home page, the navigation links that describes each one. All right, well, I think I'm done. You're probably done listening to me, and you are ready to get started in this course. So make sure you contact me. I love to hear from students, but if you've got questions, um, the first thing is to go back to your syllabus or read the weekly agenda, and then if that doesn't answer your question, make sure you get in touch with me. A great way is through the inbox rather than my email directly. If it's in the inbox, I can archive it very easily, which is wonderful. All right, well, good luck with the course, and I will look forward to seeing how you do in A&P.